I wanted to gather and honor the veterans. When I get with a group of veterans, I look out there and I know that although our experiences were drastically different in the service, we had some universal experiences that we all lived through. One is, we actually all stood in a room, raised our right hand, and said the oath to defend the Constitution of the United States from enemies, foreign and domestic, to obey the orders of those appointed over me. We also stood on a tarmac or cement floor in blistering heat and marched shoulder to shoulder. In boot camp, we did an oblique left, we did an oblique right, we did an about face, and we did it as a team. And we also had that drill sergeant. We had that drill sergeant stand toe-to-toe with us, 2 inches from our nose, and give us words of encouragement. I remember my favorite words were, Seeland, smile, things will get worse. But we took that oath, and that was an important oath, and it wasn't just words. It meant something. It was what we were about in the service, and nothing exemplifies that more than a Congressional Medal of Honor winner or recipient that lived close to me. His name was Ken Olson, and Ken was excelling academically, so he was going on to Purdue University to become a graduate student and have an excellent career in agribusiness. He was going to do that in 1968, and Meeker County Board sent him a notice. They said, Ken, you will no longer get a deferment for your college education. So he enlisted in the Army. He thought if he went in the Army, he would get to choose his destination. But he didn't. He got assigned to the front, and he went there immediately on April 1st. He arrived in Vietnam. I grew up in Painesville, Minnesota. The Painesville Press asked him if he wouldn't mind sending a letter to them each and every week when he was in Vietnam. He said, yeah, I'll do that. He said, I'd be happy to do it. So he arrived in Vietnam on April 1st. He sent a letter a week later. The letter stated that the conditions here are unbearable. He said the conditions are so bad. He said my fellow soldiers only change clothes when they rot off of them. He said the mosquitoes, the moisture, the humidity, the mud is unbearable. His second letter home said that his job was to engage the enemy so they would spot him, so they knew where the enemy was. He said, oh, we engaged him and we drew fire. He said we went into the jungle after him, they just disappeared. He said it was amazing, we don't know where they went, they just disappeared. 6 weeks later, he sent his final letter home. It was a week before Mother's Day. And he said in his letter that there was some mother that wasn't going to be happy because the first person in their unit just got killed. That mother was not going to have a good, happy day, but don't worry, Mom. So he sent the letter off. The day his mom was pinning on her corsage, his platoon sergeant told him, we want you to clear these bunkers in front of you. So him and a fellow soldier went ahead and cleared that first bunker. And then there was a second bunker that went in there. And him and a fellow soldier had to clear that second bunker, and he stood up. And when his mom was pinning on the corsage, he was facing down tracer bullets coming right at him. And he took a grenade out of his belt and launched it. And he ducked down into that bunker, and it was, the machine gun fire was more intense than it was prior to throwing the grenade. So he knew he had to take another shot at it. So he did. He stood up, and he tossed that grenade amid all the tracer bullets racing right at him. And a tracer bullet found its mark. He fell down and the live grenade was right next to him. He knew that he had his buddy in the foxhole with him. He reached out and tucked that grenade under his body and took the full blast himself. And it saved his fellow soldier. That's the kind of character that a veteran is. That's what that oath meant when we took it and said we would do that. He lived it, and that's what he did. But that character does not end when we get our discharge papers. That does not end when we get that beloved DD 214, which is our gateway to all the benefits. It goes on with us, and that's what makes me so proud to stand here with my fellow veterans today. And that's what makes me so proud to stand up here and honor the veterans and the families today. It makes me proud of your dad that served, that you put this event together and honor veterans, because I certainly honor you and I stand proud. I stand proud with you because I not only marched shoulder to shoulder on that cement and blistering heat, but I am proud to be in a world, because this place and this world is better because you're in it. Thank you very much for your service.